recording. Hi, everybody. This is Karen Batty. It is Sunday, October 7th at 7-ish p.m. And this is our first leader bound call of the series. Who's excited about being here? I am. Woo! All right. So I want to welcome you guys to this series. And I would love for us just to start with a quick intro because we're going to be working together really closely for the next 6 weeks. So we might as well get to know each other a little bit. Just tell us your name, how long you have been in business, and what excites you most about this series. All right. Anybody want to jump in? Okay, Lynn, unmute.
Hi, I'm Lynn Rocca. Not that everybody here doesn't know me, but anyway, those that are watching. The most I'm excited about is I really want to vamp up my business, like big vamp up my business. I am so excited about just really gung-ho the sales and getting back out in front of people, and
yeah,
I'm looking forward to. Perfect. And I know I will get.
From?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm from Wilton, New Hampshire.
And how long have you been in business?
And I've been in business since January 31st of this year.
Yay, it's not even a year. Awesome. And you know what? You know, sometimes people think Leader Bound is all about building a team, and it is, of course. But in order to be able to sort of free up enough time and energy to build a team, it's about getting your shows like on autopilot. It's about really getting host coaching really as effective as it can be so that certain parts of your business almost run themselves. So you've come to the right place for all of those things. All right, Jen, how about you? Because Sharon's muted for another second, so I'll throw you under the bus now.
Okay. I'm Jen Grace. I've been in this business this time about 3 years. It was a couple years, a long time before that. And I live in Dorchester, New Hampshire, where the moose and the bear outnumber the people. And what I'm most excited about is figuring out how to balance my shows and my host coaching and not feel overwhelmed with that, so that I can also focus on helping my team and training and teaching them how to do it.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and a lot of this series is about sort of getting systems in place. It's not just the skills that we need, but like how to make them habits so they become second nature. So perfect. Mm-hmm. How about you, Sharon? You have to mute.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was working. I have brownies going. So I'm Sharon Drozen. I've been in business a year and a half. I am outside of Boston in Stoneham, Massachusetts. And I am most looking forward to remembering what it is that I forgot. There's so much information, and I want to make sure, like, whatever I forgot, I want to continue to do or relearn and redo. I don't know. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, awesome. And you also said you want to bring some of what you learned back to your team too, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have a goal for my team. It's a huge goal, and so this is just one step on that process.
Perfect. Awesome. So everybody's in the right place. And it is fall, which is a great time to build momentum. And it's also a time when we tend to see a lot of people, not just at our shows, but outside of our parties, at all the Thanksgivings and the Halloween parties and all the parties and gatherings over the next couple of months. So it is the perfect time to be in a series like this and to really build huge momentum pretty darn quickly. And I am so excited for this series and for all of you who are participating. I promise you that it will be fun and rewarding. I also promise you it's going to make you stretch a little. And what make one person stretch might not be what makes another person stretch. But usually there's some part of the series that makes you go out of your comfort zone a little bit. So you know what? But that's what it takes to have your business grow. If you're comfortable, you're probably not growing. Right? So you got to be a little uncomfortable and trying new things in order to grow. So during this series, hopefully your business will grow. You will grow personally, gaining new skills, and then we'll also all grow together. And because we're going to be working so closely together for the next 6 weeks, hopefully you're going to find you make some great friends and deeper relationships over the next month and a half together. So the first thing I want to just kind of go over the overview. We're going to be meeting together via Zoom every Sunday evening from now through the end of November at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On these calls, we're going to be focusing on two things. There's going to be information that's going to be focused on giving you not just the skills, but the habits. So that's what we're going to be talking about. First, here's the skill of booking, and then here are the habits so that it becomes second nature, okay? And as important as being on these calls, it's just one ingredient in this cake, all right? It's the flour. It's a big, huge ingredient, but it's still only one ingredient. And you can't make a cake unless you have more than one ingredient. So getting together via Zoom, having fun together, learning together, cheering each other on, feeding on each other's excitements, along with holding regular coaching calls with your director. These are the things that are the eggs, the oil, and water, and and that are going to really make the whole thing come together. So you want to make sure to include all the ingredients in your cake, all right? Because you don't want just a big bowl of flour by the time we get done. So, as you know, the Batty organization is a pretty large organization. We're up over 400 now, which just blows my mind. Yay! But you are the guys, you are the ones that are going to have the most access to me and to your director over the next 6 weeks. Okay, it's going to be my mission to help you guys achieve the goals you set for your business during this time. During the 6 weeks, we're going to be able to really brainstorm together, really drill down on the skills needed for success, and also help you in your personal business where the rubber meets the road for you. Okay, because what comes naturally to one person, another person might take a little tweaking to really get it to be comfortable. We're going to be scheduling 3-way calls, either with your director or me, helping you figure out how to work this business in your life around your challenges, and then all sorts of things, because there are just a few things that we're going to be working on that won't be together, okay? So all the skills, all the habits, we're going to be really drilling down in more detail than we could ever get anyplace else, okay? So it's my mission. Your success is my mission, as long as you remain fully engaged in the series, all right? So let's talk about what remaining fully engaged entails. It's not that bad, believe me, okay? Now, fully engaged means you're willing to book 8 parties every single month, at least, okay? If you book 8, you'll probably hold 6. And 8 will make you great, all right? It puts you in front of enough people so that what you learn here during these calls, you can implement in your business. I sometimes compare these calls to like driver's ed. You can take all the driver ed courses you want, but unless you get behind the wheel of the car and practice driving, you're never going to be a skilled driver, right? So think of this like the driver ed, and those 8 parties, that's getting behind the wheel to put what you've learned into action. Okay? The parties can be live or they can be virtual. And you guys have probably heard this before, but my greatest suggestion is pick one week out of the month, and that's where you put all your virtual parties in. And then you spread out your live parties amongst the other, throughout the month. And so it really shouldn't be overwhelming as far as timing goes, because you can do 1 live party a week and then all your virtuals all in 1 week. Do catalog parties count? Nope, Sharon, because we're not interacting with our customers there. So we're not, catalog parties are fine. They're good for gravy, and we can host coach, but that's about all we can do. So for this series, the parties that count are the live in-home parties and virtual parties. Okay? Great question. Thank you for that. Also expected is that you'll be on these calls live. Because like I said, it's not a monologue. If it were, I could just record all of these and send you all the recordings, but that's not what it's about. It's about us interacting together. Because I'm not the be-all and end-all when it comes to this. I know each and every one of you. You guys are super creative. You guys have great ideas. And together, when we share all these things, we're going to help each and every one of us do better at what we do. And that's why, you want to be on these calls live, so that we get that camaraderie and the sharing of ideas. Being fully engaged also means that you're going to keep track of your numbers. Have you ever heard the quote, "Winners keep score"? All right. Have you watched any baseball games or football games lately? Do these people get to the halftime and say, forget it, I'm going to lose this one. I'll wait till the next game?
Nope.
No, they play the whole game, don't they? And do they adjust based on what's happening in the game? Yeah, they do. Because guess what? The game's going to go on no matter where their mindset is. So if they give up halfway through at the halftime, they still have to show up on the other half and play the game, right? So for us to say fully engaged means, okay, we're playing the whole game, right? We're not just going to give up at halftime and say, we'll wait till the next one. What I mean by winners keep score is they know how many parties they do in an average month. They know where their bookings are at. They know what their show average is. And they know how much their average order is. So one of your assignments this week is going to be to go onto Consultant's Corner and go under when you go into customer connection. No, excuse me. Wait a minute. I'm on Flexeril right now, so work with me. So when you go on, when you're looking up your stats and you look at your Take Action page, Consultant Connection. All right. When you go on to Consultant Connection, at the bottom on the left-hand side is your performance numbers. So you click on that, and you can look up what your show average is. So that's one of your assignments. Find out your current show average for live and virtual parties, because it'll break it down for you. It'll also tell you how many orders are placed on your average party, both live and virtual. Then you have to do a little math. You take your show average, you divide it by your average numbers of orders placed on a show to find out what your average order is. Okay, find out what those numbers are. And when you're talking to your director, that's going to be, part of the conversation. It's going to be, where are those numbers and where could they be? I was just talking to a consultant not too long ago, and she says, oh, I really want a better show average. I want to go see someone's show to see how they're selling. And I had her hop online and look up her numbers with me. Well, she had a great average on her individual order. It was about $73. So I said to her, you're doing great. What's your average number of orders? It was 5.7. I said, now let's say we worked together, talked about host coaching, and got 10 orders per party. With the $73 average order, now you've got a $730 show average. Would you be happy with that? She's like, yes, I would. So I said, then it's not your sales skills, it's host coaching. So check out what your personal numbers are and think about where those are and where would you like them to be. Do you want a higher individual order? Do you want a higher number of orders per party? Do you want more parties? Kind of figure out what your scorecard is and where you'd like it to be, because that's going to determine the actions you take. And that's what I mean by winners keep score. If you're going to play the whole game, you got to know, based on where you are, what kind of things you want to tweak. Because being in a series like this does not necessarily mean you're putting in a lot more time in your business. It does, however, mean that you're going to probably work it a little differently. Somebody put something in chat. Let me see here. Performance details doesn't have my show average by type of party. If you scroll down a bit, it'll say live shows and it'll say virtual parties. Are you clicking on the button when you have a virtual party? Okay. I can talk to you later. I'm not sure why you can't see. I have
broken down by KFB or versus catalog. That's all I have.
Oh. I have two different ones, but maybe I was assuming that the catalog was virtual. Okay. Well, anyway, we could talk about that. But yeah, so you want to look at how much you're selling per order, how many orders per party. Maybe I was just in my mind thinking catalog was virtual. Okay. So be on the calls live. Know your scorecard and what it is and what you'd like it to be. Be in contact with your director after each party. That doesn't have to be a live call. That can be a Facebook message, a text, or whatever. Of course, if I'm your director, you're not going to text me because I'll never get it. Message me through Facebook as an update of how many people are at the party, what the sales are, but I don't really care what the sales are, but we like to cheer anyway. But how many bookings are secured and any recruit leads that are there, so that we can talk about the follow-up. And then it is expected you will talk to your director via phone once a week for about 20 minutes. The other thing that you're going to be expected to do once a week is on Sunday evenings or on Monday morning, send an email to your director with your monthly tracker that you can get right offline fill it out, take a picture, send it to your director, and let your director know your office hours for the week. And when I say office hours, they don't have to be hours. It can be 15 minutes, here, 10 minutes there. Just kind of pick the times that you are going to work, because if you want to have a business that is strong, you have to treat it like a business. You've got to set and hold office hours for yourself. And when we have a home-based business, can life sort of get in the way a lot? I think it can.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden, the phone's ringing, non-business. Neighbors think Karen's home, she must not be working. Sometimes family thinks Karen's home, she must not be working. Sometimes I just got to catch up on the laundry or do the dishes or whatever. So, scheduling those pockets of time, figuring out what goals you have, and each of us might have very different pockets of time depending on our life circumstance and our goals. But you want to choose those times, be mindful about it, and don't underestimate the power of a 10-minute block of time a few days a week, because it can make a huge, huge difference. Okay. And then also you'll be expected to complete weekly assignments that are going to be related to whatever skill we're talking about. So that's it. Be on the calls live, be committed to the book 8 Hold 6. Find out what your numbers are, update your director after every party, hold a coaching call, send that email. A lot of these things are probably just going to take just a few minutes, but it's going to get habits in place so that the first week or two might be like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I've got to put a note in my calendar to send that email to my director. But after you start doing it, it becomes second nature that you're just setting your office hours for the week. And I say for the week because most of us have lives that are in flux, right? Each week is a little different, what we've got going on. So you can just, pick and choose each week. One of the best things about this business is the flexibility. All right? How's that sound to you guys so far? Does that sound like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to do this? Or, yeah, I got this.
I love Lynn's face, but I gotta say, for me, it's nice because so many things are already in place. Like I have a weekly call with my director.
Mm-hmm.
It's not adding anything to my plate.
Right. Okay, good.
The calls to you, Karen, are not the issue.
Right. So, but like if choosing those office hours, if that's something new to you, the first couple of weeks is going to be uncomfortable. But seriously, in the long run, once that becomes second nature, just like brushing your teeth, that's how you can free up your brain to work on other parts of your business. Because when you set those office hours, guess what? Then you're going to be choosing what you're doing during those office hours, and things start to become second nature. So
it helps you. Sorry, Karen. I think it also helps you not feel guilty about doing the things that aren't your business when you're doing them during time that you've scheduled to not be working on your business. So it kind of gives you permission to enjoy the rest of your life too.
Yeah, that's great, Jen. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because then you don't have to wonder, oh, when am I going to get all this done? You're like, oh, I set my office hours. So now it's not an office hour. So I'm going to be all in with my family, or all in with my other job, or all in with having fun with my friends. Or you know what? Now's a great time to practice a few recipes or do my laundry. And I don't have to feel guilty, worrying about, oh, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. Pick the times and honor them. So when you're on, you're on. And when you're off, you can be completely off, guilt-free. So that's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up, Jen. All right. So hopefully you're finding that, okay, not so scary. Some of these things you probably already have in place, like Sharon said. And I think that many of you know, when it comes to Pampered Chef, I like to have fun. So hopefully during this series, we will also have some fun together. All right. So I am assuming that most of you are familiar with the director benefits. Okay. So, because I went through it in the Get the More call and things like that, and I know a few of you have been around the block. So I would love to hear from you guys. What would it mean to you to promote to director by year's end? What would excite you the most? Although Sharon, you're already there.
I know, but I would love to get to advanced director. I'm not so sure it'd be by the end of the year. That's a little lofty goal for me and my team. But It would mean a little more security.
It would be, yeah, a lot more security actually. So you know what, if based on who you've got on your team right now, if you don't see advanced directorship down the road, you know, what about saying, I'd like to have like 8 more active people on my team by the end of December.
So that was
that
was my goal, is to re-promote myself.
perfect. There you go. All right. So Lynn, what would it mean to you if you promoted to director by the end of the year?
It would mean a lot to me. It would mean that I am successful in the business that I am trying to get successful. I see that as a step of success. It doesn't matter if I have 10 people on my team or if I have, 40 people on my team. Being the director is my goal by the end of the year. So that would be amazing for me.
And you've already got a few team members, so you're well. Yeah. And you get all the new fall product line at the time of promoting, as long as you sold $12.50 for the last 3 to 4 months, all the Pampered Chef dollars. And starting off the new year as a director, if you're going for the Disney trip, it's fewer points when you're a director. How about you, Jen?
The first thing I'm going to say, you're going to tell me is the wrong reason. But I'm going to say it anyways because
it's yours personally.
Since I promoted to director and then also lost my directorship this year already, I have several upline people who are going to lose a lot of trip points if I don't hit it by January, and that's important to me for them to have those trip points. Yeah. So that's really important to me. But to do it by the new year, I think also I've learned a lot through that, having that happen. And I know that if I reach that goal again, or when I reach that goal again, I'll have a better structure in my business and it'll be more reliable and I'll be better able to keep it consistent and help my team continue to grow.
And Jen, let me ask you something. Did you get a bunch of Pampered Chef dollars when you promoted?
I did.
And you enjoyed those?
I did.
Yeah. Did you get products and things like that? Yeah. So you know what? There's no shame in that. I started the business. There was no senior consultant when I started. There was only team leader and director, and then I became an advanced director, and then I went back down to director. Then I went to advanced, and then I went to senior, and then I went down to advanced, and then I went from senior to exec, and now I'm at senior. We'll be at exec again. I'm not curled up in the corner in the fetal position crying. A title does not define us. Right. And just like if we book 8 shows and 1 cancels, it's not the end of our business. It just one show cancels. So sometimes, I say when you're filling a pool and you wanted to fill it to 3 feet, well, when you're at exactly 3 feet and the water's moving, sometimes you're just above and sometimes you're just below. The key is keep filling the pool so that you get way above where you want to be. And you know what? So sometimes it happens, but you know what? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the business. And we learn every step of the way. We learn new things. So I'm glad you're hopping back in, and absolutely no doubt in my mind, because you haven't lost any of the skills that you already developed the first time around. And now it's just strengthening them up even more. So, okay. So let's talk for a minute about what it takes to achieve the directorship versus maintain directorship. Okay. So what it takes to get to directorship is 5 active consultants. All in 1 month, they have to be active. Okay. And then you and those 5 people need to sell a total of how much?
$5,000.
$5,000, right. And how much has to be from the director?
$750.
Minimum of $750. Sharon's doing that.
I know that.
Yeah. But you know what? Don't strive for $750.
No.
$750 is a minimalist attitude. You don't want a minimalist attitude. What do you think is a really good, healthy amount for a director to be aiming for as a director's minimum?
$2,500 is mine. So
yep,
if that's good or not.
That is the bare minimum. When you're a director, your bare minimum, especially in your first few months of directorship, because you got a baby team who doesn't know what they're doing, $2,500 should be what you're striving for. Because you're going to have to do most of the $5,000 yourself to get there, especially when you have new people. Now, so that's what it takes to achieve directorship. But here's the secret. There's no such thing as maintaining directorship. Our business is like a plant. It's either growing or it's dying. It's never just there. It's not a plastic plant that just is static in the corner. Okay. So the same thing it takes to get to directorship, the book 8, the hold 6, and the habits. Well, once you become a director, keep those up. Okay. You know, the book 8, hold 6, 8 will make you great. The habits of offering everything we've got to offer at our shows. We don't just offer products. We also offer the opportunity to book and the business opportunity. Keep doing those things. Once you've achieved directorship, you never have to have 5 active again. It's just 5,000 in team sales, and at least 750 needs to be from you. But if you have a very small team, 750 is probably not going to get you the 5,000. So, but if you're selling at least 2,500 a month, you'll probably have it no problem. And not only that, you'll have the 5,000, but you will keep recruiting. If you're only selling 750 a month, you're probably only doing 2 parties a month. Where are you going to find recruit leads, right? And the other thing is, if you only have 2 parties a month and one of your hosts has 3 bookings, and then the host says, oh, I think I want to become a consultant, what are you going to think if you only have 2 parties in your books? And now she wants her 3 bookings.
No, 750 for me.
Yeah, you're going to be like, oh, I need those bookings, right? And you might actually be hesitant to recruit. That is not a place you want to be. But if you've got enough shows, and those shows are on autopilot because you've got systems in place for host coaching, and you've got the skill of getting those bookings on the calendar, and when that host says, oh, wow, I got 3 bookings and I had $900 in sales. Yeah, I think I want to give this business a try. And you say, great, take the bookings to help you get started. But I got 7 other shows this month, and I'm going to get all the bookings I need from there. Okay? So the stuff that we're doing during this series is stuff that hopefully you're just going to keep on doing even after the series is over. And a lot of it has to do with mindset. In the Batty organization, we don't go for minimum. So like I said, don't aim for 750. You want to aim for at least 2,500 or more. And actually, when I was a new director, my goal was 4,000 or more. With an $800 show average, if you're doing 8 parties a month, it's 6 hold. If you've got a $700 or $800 party average, you're going to sell 4,000 to 5,000 or more by yourself. So, like I said, this series isn't just meant to help you get to directorship. It's meant to help you develop the skills and the habits to grow into strong leaders of strong teams. So that's the real goal. All right. So, so for this week, we're going to be focusing on the calendar. All right. So it doesn't matter where you are in your business. Someone told me a million years ago, Joanne said to me, when you're a director, you're never done booking. Because you can, if you've got a date open that you can book, even if it's more parties than you want to do, just book them. Because guess why? You've got a downline. If it gets to be too many, chances are not all the parties are going to hold. But if it gets too many, gets to be too many because most of them hold, you can always call up one of your great team members who's working really, really hard to build their team and say, you know what, I booked way too many parties and I am just out of my mind. Can you please take one of these off my plate? Yeah, so Lynn's like, I'm right here for you, Karen.
No. I want to be in that position where I have to pass them off to someone because I have too many on my calendar. I look forward to that day.
Well, you know what? It was my first November in business. The first month I went, okay, 14's too many for me. I kept upping and upping and upping. I got to 14 and I was like, oh, too many. I gave my first show away to a person on my team. So, so this week, along with, sending your director your office hours and knowing your numbers and all that, this week is all about bookings. Okay. Who's had some good results with getting bookings in the last week or so? What have you done? What's working? Lynn, I'm going to put you on the spot. You did some fairs in the last couple of months. What's helped you book in the last couple of weeks, last few days or whatever? You're muted. Unmute. Can you unmute? There we go.
I am not doing a very good job. I mean, I'm not getting closing the deal. That's my problem. I've got a lot of people that I'm talking with, but I can't seem to get them to pick a date. So I only have, I think, 4 parties on my calendar for.
You got a potload of leaves, right?
I'm sorry?
So we'll talk about that, sealing the deal. Sharon, have you had any luck with securing dates lately?
Right now, I have 0 parties on the books for November.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to work on that.
Yep. But I know what I've been doing, and one of the things is with my office hours, I have scheduled in customer care calls, and I have scheduled in 25 contacts a week for bookings and 25 for recruits. I've scheduled that into my week, so I'm not panicked because I know I have a system in place that will help me get back there.
Perfect, because that's just the system we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay, Jen, have you had any luck securing dates in the last week or so?
Yes, I've gotten some from shows, which is always nice. The October special is still grabbing people, so I've had some virtuals because they don't think they can do the live, which is fine. And then I have some live that people were really excited about that I think are going to roll into November because Halloween is conflicting with the shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've done some vendor events that have worked, so it's been good.
And I think, we all know when you do those vendor events, a repetition of outreach is, it's just needed. It just is, just embrace it. It's part of the business. And
I'm at follow-up, so I always try to make sure I have it on the books before I leave, because it's not my host that drops the ball, it's me. And
it's our job.
I'm the same way.
Right? It's our job. So so that's part of the scheduling. So when you schedule those office hours, if you know you've got a vendor event, you want to schedule time for that follow-up.
Yeah.
All right, Jen, you work in my office. Does my calendar fall apart every once in a while?
Rarely, but I've seen it. Yes.
Yeah. How long does it usually take me to get it back into shape?
No time.
No time at all. So, okay, so I want to share some tips. Number 1, don't prejudge. When it comes to booking your calendar, the name of the game is numbers game. Okay, this business is a numbers game. Sharon, I love that you have scheduled in 25 two-way conversations about bookings and 25 for recruiting every single week. Okay, because it doesn't take long. It sounds like a lot, but you're talking 5 a day, Monday through Friday, right? Two-way, meaning people have to get back in contact with you. All right. And the great thing is you don't have to come up with a new conversation for every single person. Jen's probably seen this in action. I come up with some kind of idea. I take about 2 minutes to come up with the wording. And then I take 8 minutes to just blast it to everybody and anybody.
Yes, it's amazing.
And then it's just, so it's the same basic message to tons of people. Do I get people who ignore me? Yes, I do. Do I get people that say no? Yes, I do. Do I get people who say yes? Yes, I do. If you send it to enough people, you get a lot of people who ignore you. I would say half to 3/4 of the people ignore me. It's okay.
2 out of the 5 calls I made hung up on me.
Oops. Really? They hung up? I hardly ever do phone calls anymore. Isn't that terrible? But
I couldn't reach them any other way, so I followed with a phone call.
Well, that's great too. And sometimes, like when it's bad weather, guys, perfect time to call people. They pick up the phone. It's true. So a couple of things that have helped me is when I'm at my shows, part of my quiz is now to put me in there. They get 20 points for taking their cell phone and putting me as a contact. And I tell them, put me Karen Batty and the company Pampered Chef. So when I call them, it doesn't look like, I don't know this number. It's like, oh, that's the Pampered Chef lady. Okay, so it's not some unknown number. So that has actually had more people contact me. And then even if I do text them, then they know who the text is coming from. Okay, but rapid fire, rip off the Band-Aid. Nothing is going to hold you back in this business more than an empty calendar. Nothing. You can have all the skills in the world. If you're not in front of enough people, it doesn't matter what your skills are. And guess what? If you are in front of enough people without skills, you'll probably still get most of what you want from this business. The first year of my business, I had no idea what I was doing. I was dropping pizzas, burning pizzas. They told me I should pack my bags and get in front of people twice a week. They said 8 would make me great. And I said, okay, I'll follow you blindly. I will do 8 parties, whatever it takes. And when I started doing 8 parties, everything fell into place, even though I really didn't know what to say, didn't really know what I was doing. But if you set up a buffet in front of 1 million people, people will eat from your buffet, and they will try everything if you have enough people at it. So Lynn, I know you said you were having trouble, like all these people who want parties. Does anybody have a solution for that before I share what I generally do?
I actually missed the first part. She was having which part?
She's got 4 parties in the books, but she's got oodles of other leads, but she just can't get them to commit to a date.
Well, the advice that Lisa and Karen tend to give me, once you get a hold, sorry, my cat, not on the table, is once you get a hold of them, whittle it down, like break it down for them. So, you know, I know that you really wanted the X, which is on special in X month. So which works better for you, weekends or weeknights? And start breaking it down further and further. So it not corners them. That's a horrible way to say it, but like it brings it down to, okay. And if they're not doing it, find out what their hesitation is. Like, well, I don't know. Well, what is that hesitation? Oh, I don't have enough time. Well, how much time do you think it takes? Let's talk about that and break it down. Keep breaking it down for them.
And that's great if you're at a party or you have them over the phone. That definitely works. And I don't think it's cornering them. I think it's letting a date unfold. I think when most people say they can't pick a date, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they think it's hard. After all, there's 365 days in the year and they want the perfect one. They want the perfect date because they want a successful party.
Well, they've already told me they want a party. It's not like I'm trying to talk them into the party. They just need to be told when they can have the party.
So you've already chatted with them. I would send them a message. Here's what I do. When I have all these people who have said yes, I send them a message and say, hey, Lynn, I was just reaching out. I know you were interested in having a party. You know, with the fall selling season, it's the best time ever. I'm going to be heading to the post office on Monday to mail out all my host packets. So I wanted to reach out. If you happen to schedule your date before Monday, so I can mail your host packet out with all the others and don't have to take an extra trip, I'll throw in an extra $15 in free. How does that sound to you? So it gives them a reason because they're thinking, yes, I want to have a party, but this isn't their business. This is fun for them. And for most people, fun is on the low end of their priority scale. But if you bump it up by saying, I'll bring the ingredients or I'll give you an extra $15 in free, now they're like, you know what, let me stop what I'm doing and grab my calendar because I really do want to have that show. And I tend to ask a couple of questions. If they haven't quite said yes, I tend to ask a couple of questions that are easy to say yes to. So I'll reach out and say, I know you were thinking about maybe having a party. Did you know that if you schedule it on or before, if we get your show in on or before November 10th, that people can shop not just for Christmas and Hanukkah, but they can be shopping for Thanksgiving, which is big in the Pampered Chef world. Do you want to hear about the themes I'm offering right now? So it's easy to say yes to that. They're like, oh, am I ready for a show? Oh, I don't know, but yeah, sure, you can tell me about the themes you're offering. And I'll say, oh my gosh, I'm doing this harvest theme where we make a mulled cider and this apple spice cake. It's delicious. Or if that's not your thing, we could do a wine, cheese, and chocolate, or maybe a healthy in a hurry. What sounds good to you? What do you think your friends would enjoy? And then often they'll say, oh, wow, that harvest one sounds great. Oh, fantastic. You know, if we get your party in by the 10th of November, then your friends can be shopping for Thanksgiving as well. Do you want to know the dates I've got open between now and then? So they're questions that are easy to say yes to. And hopefully by starting with, you want to hear the themes I'm offering, it gets them excited again. So instead of, do you want to host a show, which to me sounds like, do you want to clean a bathroom? It's like, ew, no, sounds like work. I don't want to do that. But if you say, do you want to hear what themes I'm offering? It's like, oh, sure. A couple of themes. Wow, that gets them excited. And, oh, I can have it and they can have it in time for Thanksgiving. Yeah, let me know what dates you've got. And then I'll say to them, now I have shared these dates with a few other people. So if one of them jumps out at you, get back to me right away. I've also then said to people, if they're like, yeah, I'll check my calendar. And the next day I haven't heard back from them. I might message them and say, no pressure, but I've got a party tonight. And I'm going to be offering my open dates. I didn't know if any of the ones I gave you the other day are ones that you want. If they are, let me know before I leave for my party so I can take that one off the books and secure it for you. And now they're like, ooh, I don't want Karen going filling that Friday I wanted, you know, and so those are some of the ways that I kind of seal the deal. The best way that I know to help people is by keep me in the loop on every conversation you have. If you are reaching out to someone, you don't hear back, or you hear a hesitation, just send me a screenshot. Say, Karen, here's how the conversation's going. What would you say to this? Or I'm thinking of saying this. How does that sound? That's why it's so important to have that follow-up time scheduled. And Jen has seen my office. When it comes to recruit leads, I put them on my wall, on my whiteboard, because I'll forget. Who's my recruit leads? Who am I supposed to reach out to? And then I'll just come running in, I'll look and go, oh yeah, I haven't talked to that one in a while. So if you've got a whiteboard or a piece of paper, just write down every lead you have and be looking at it every time you've got a pocket of time. Like, who haven't I reached out to lately? Who haven't I heard back from yet? Once your calendar's in place, it's not hard to keep it full. What we're going to be talking about next week is how to get the bookings on the books at the event or at the show. But for now, this week, it's going to be all about outreach, outreach, outreach. And what Sharon said was 25 two-way conversations about bookings. And if you're ready, do what she's doing and also do 25 about the business. That's 5 a day. Now, because about half of the people are going to ignore you, it will probably mean reaching out to 10 people each day to have 5 get back in touch with you in some way, shape, or form. Celebrate the no's. They count as one of your two-way conversations, but keep track. Make sure you're having a conversation with 25 people a week. Because if you do, you'll probably end up with a full calendar and people interested in the business. Jen, were you in my office when I messaged the wrong person? It turned out she's a recruit lead. I thought I was messaging a past host of mine, and I typed in her first name, and my husband also has a cousin who has the first name the same, and the first 3 letters of their last name are also the same. So when I clicked on Messenger, I clicked on the wrong one.
Oh no.
Who knew? Guess what? She was a lead. So don't prejudge. Don't prejudge. Just reach out, reach out, reach out.
Real quick,
All right.
in the comments, I put a link. That's to register for a webinar that is being put on by Home Office tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's on how to get more bookings. Ah, very good.
So you can log into that, go back to the booking blitz we just did, check the ideas that are there. There's also wording there that you can just copy and paste and send to people. And you know, this is the time of year that is pretty intuitive for people to want parties. We can get parties in January and February, but it takes a little more finesse. So really, this is the time of year. If you just went to 100 people randomly on the street and said, hey, what do you think is the best month to have a Pampered Chef party? Most of people are going to say fall, right? October, November, December, they're going to say one of those. So it's a pretty intuitive time for people to want to have a party, all right? So capitalize on that. And give them a reason. Like I said, it can just be bringing the ingredients, or save me an extra trip to the post office, and I'll throw in a free whatever. It can be something as little as that makes people take the 5 minutes, you know, to choose a date. And then say, do you want to hear, you know, what dates I've got available by November 10th, so you can get so people can order in time for Thanksgiving. They can say, no, I want to go later that month. Oh, okay. You know, narrowing them down and then giving them dates. Or just to say, do you have 2 minutes to talk so we can grab our calendars and figure out what works? But for the most part, it's the number of people you're reaching out to. Okay, so just and the number of times you're reaching out. So do we want to create a Facebook group for the leader-bound people? Or is it like, oh no, not another group, we can't do that? Up to you.
Please, no more groups.
Please, no more groups. Okay, but how about I'll call it leader-bound fall 2018 group message so that I can post the assignments there and the link and the reminders. Hey, see you tomorrow on Sunday. Would that be okay with people?
It works for me.
All right. So raise your hand if you want another Facebook group. Look, nobody does. Okay. Raise your hand if you want a little group chat.
Sure.
Jen doesn't want either of them. Okay. So we'll get that set up. So seriously, this week, get the parties in place. Rip off the Band-Aid, do whatever it takes. If you have to offer a small incentive, believe me, you will make it back, not just at that party, but from all the bookings and recruit leads that are going to come from that party. Nothing is worse for your business than being without a show on a night that you want a show. So whatever it takes, and it doesn't have to cost money. One quick little thing before we hang up. If you're looking for early November bookings, you could tell them, I'm offering, offer a product for the price of the day for the first week of November. And that means they can pick any product out of the catalog up to a $35 value, and they can get it for the price of the day they booked. So if they book on a Thursday, on the 5th, they get that $35 item for $5. You're putting it on the host discount. You're making the commission, and the host is giving you $5. Even if it's a 20% commission, that $35 item is now $29. You're making commission off of the $29, which is about another $6. That brings it down to $23, and the host is giving you $5. Okay, so now it's down to $17. But they have to have the party in that first week, and guess what I tell them? They have to have 12 orders. So, okay, great, you're going to get that $35 item for just $5. All you have to have is hold the date on the 5th and have 12 orders combined between at the party and outside orders. So most of them have a 25% discount, and it costs far less. Okay, so if you're looking to fill that first week, that's another thing to consider. Or like I said, offer to bring the ingredients or a $15 item, for free. By booking it so you can get your host packets out with one trip to the post office. Then keep in touch, okay? Because we want to move on quickly from here, getting things in autopilot. And the first thing is you got to get the books you got to get the bookings on the calendar before they're in autopilot, right? Okay. All right. So away we go. It's 8 o'clock. The leader bound call is the director call starts next. So I'll see you there, Sharon, in like a minute. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.